What if the Golden State Warriors' path to a championship-altering star is paved not in triumph, but in sacrifice, a calculated gamble that could reshape the fabric of Dub Nation forever? Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with splash-era passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. The rumor mill is swirling hotter than the Oracle Arena crowds of old, as whispers grow louder that Bradley Beal, the battle veteran and three-time All-Star, may be closer to calling the Bay Area home, not through easy free agency hunting, but by a high-stakes chess move that leaves no room for sentimentality. While many eyes remain fixed on the Clippers, who seem poised to scoop him up once he parts ways with the Phoenix Suns, Golden State's interest in Bell is no mere fan wish. It's a simmering strategy cloaked in complex salary cap maneuvers, and the harsh reality of financial sacrifice that echoes through the locker room, the linchpin to this potential seismic shift. The young, electrifying Jonathan Kuminga, a rising star, whose qualifying offer may be the price the Warriors must pay to clear the decks and unleash the full mid-level exception that could pry Bell out of LA's grasp. Picture the front office wrestling with the agony of moving on from Kuminga, who embodies the promise of the franchise's next chapter. To chase the proven 32-year-old scorer who, despite a turbulent 2-year stint in Phoenix, still boasts a smooth 17.6 points per game, almost 4 rebounds, and 4.3 assists, and sharpshooting splits north of 50% overall and 40% beyond the arc. ESPN insider Brian Windhorst's recent NBA Today remarks underscore the financial squeeze Bell faces, forced to surrender nearly $14 million in buyout cash, making his Nets contract structure vital, and Warriors fans are clued into the fact that the team must navigate this minefield carefully. Local Sun scribe Gerald Bourget bluntly framed the situation. Bell's quest to recoup sacrificial millions means his decision hinges not only on team fit, but on which playoff contenders can tender the taxpayer mid-level exception, the Warriors included. So the emotional stakes skyrocket. To unlock the full MLE, Golden State must either rescind Kuminga's qualifying offer or engineer a trade that nets negligible salary back. A scenario bittersweet in its candor. Here lies the gut-wrenching drama. To wager Kuminga, for Bell, could the promise of immediate veteran scoring and playoff heft outweigh the decade-long payoff Kuminga represents? And what are the thunderous echoes of the past, when Draymond Green's fiery grit and Steph Curry's transcendent splash brought Warriors into a merciless dynasty? Does adding Bell signal the dawn of another golden era, or the twilight gamble of a roster forced to compromise its youth for veteran shine? NBA insider Mark Stein bolsters the intrigue by confirming the Warriors' ongoing pursuit of Bell, and throws in the spicy rumor stew that Al Horford and De'Anthony Melton, two savvy vets who bring defense and playmaking, are eyeing the Bay as well, suggesting a front office hungry for a loaded, balanced squad capable of overcoming the bruising conference gauntlet. But can Golden State pull off this free agent triple crown while holding the delicate balance of re-signing Kuminga on a new deal? Stein warns that splurging big on Bell becomes financially constrained if Kuminga returns, baking tension into the offseason pot. This isn't just about one roster spot, it's about what kind of team this is going to be. A young, explosive juggernaut, or a battle-tested, veteran-loaded powerhouse loaded with stars entering their prime or twilight years. Bell's rocky tenure in Phoenix adds emotional weight. He's a player seeking redemption, a destination that reboots his narrative and unleashes his scoring prowess alongside the Splash Brothers and Draymond's defensive engine. But this drama begs the question, is Golden State ready to say goodbye to the familiar and embrace a new identity that might come with a steep price? Could the decision to jettison Kuminga for Bell be the silent pivot that eclipses even the KD era's seismic shakeups? Will the Warriors front office gamble on a win-now high-stakes assembly of Bell, Horford, and Melton, sacrificing young talent to secure the missing centerpiece in a title quest? And perhaps most hauntingly, how will this alchemy affect The locker room chemistry and the soul of a team that once rode the emotional highs of We Believe scrappy grit to dynasty heights. As a lifelong Dub Nation believer, my pulse is racing just writing this. Could this be the spark that reignites our dynasty's fire, or the crack in the foundation that fractures our legacy? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand. If you felt your chest tighten reading all that, like the air just got thicker in Chase Center, then you already know this isn't a story you're passively watching unfold. It's a tectonic plate shifting beneath the very soul of Dub Nation. And your guts got to scream. Now buckle up, because as the fog of the offseason thickens, we're staring down an all-or-nothing, no-return gambit that could either juice the Warriors' chances of clawing back to the summit or shatter the blueprint that made this franchise a near-mythic dynasty. Let me break it down for a team that's tasted the dizzying heights of 5 straight finals appearances, where Splash Brothers Steph and Clay ignited arenas and where Dre's firepower anchored the blueprint of grit and brilliance. The thought of dismantling the franchise's rawest, most untamed young weapon feels like an emotional fracture. Kuminga, that raw-bodied dynamo who's been the ultimate question mark wrapped in a tantalizing package, is reportedly the sacrificial offering on the altar for Bradley Beal, the aging, but still lethal scorer whose name now echoes louder than Wiggins' clutch slash or Moody's steely ascent. It hurts because Kuminga isn't just a player. He's a spark of the future, a walking promise that screams, this is our next leap. And yet here we are, sizing up whether a known quantity like Belhu's Suns' 10-year burn like a wildfire gone rogue can restore the missing link that Golden State's playoff runs have desperately needed. Think about it. Swapping Kuminga for Bell isn't just a transaction. It's a narrative collision between past mistakes, present hunger, and the uncertain alchemy of reinvention. The front office's chess game isn't merely about balancing cap space, it's a high-stakes negotiation of identity between the warp-speed youth movement and the wily veterans who embody the fight-and-flight tactics that won championships before. And these whispers that Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton are circling, that's like dropping gasoline on the fire Horford's veteran savvy, the kind that shaped Boston's title years, paired with Melton's defensive disruption and playmaking, means this potential lineup could lean into hard-nosed playoff toughness. But every step forward carefully risks tearing the foundation cracks wide open. Can you imagine the tension in the locker room if Kuminga, confident and ambitious, hears he might be the price of admission? What does that do to the chemistry? Forged by years of clawing to the Western Conference summit, especially with Draymond, whose protective, almost paternal presence looms over every nudge, every shift in the air. And then there's Steph Mouth forever, wired into a frequency only the game's elite can hear standing at the cliff's edge of his career, balancing the need to keep his dynasty spark alive versus the weight of knowing he might be anchoring a team that's surrendering its bleeding-edge future to secure immediate firepower. The emotional electricity in that dressing room must be monstrous on one side. The longing for another ring now, the hunger to prove the Warriors can still carve their throne without leaning solely on the Splash era's original alchemy. On the other, the raw, unspeakable anxieties of losing a teammate whose trajectory seemed intertwined with the franchise's fate. And what about the coaches? Steve Kerr, who has always been the architect of balance, the man who preached ball, movement, unselfishness, and trust in young legs, now has to read the room, plan the rotations, and steer a ship where one pillar risks being jettisoned for a veteran star who demands the ball in his hands. The mental calculus here is brutal. Could adding Bell a volume scorer with a few too many volatile Phoenix moments disturb the locker room equilibrium? Can this new configuration survive in the heat of the West, where playoff defenses are merciless and playoff skills are ruthlessly exposed? And what are the ripple effects on Jonathan Kuminga's growth? Without the same development window, will we look back 2 years from now, haunted by the choice, watching him blossom on another team, tearing defenses apart as a star the Warriors let slip through their fingers? These are the stakes. The tension is rising, like the roar of a packed Chase Center moments before a Klay Thompson three that flips the game. This trade talk isn't fairy dust. It's the crucible where legacies form or fracture. History reminds us that Golden State's greatest moments came not just from splashy shots, but from courageous decisions. Trading Mona Ellis, dropping Andrew Bogut, riding the wave of draft day heroes and blueprint gambles. This might be the most consequential crossroad yet. It's a gut punch, a hope and a fear wrapped into one, a breathtaking leap of faith into uncertain waters. If they pull this off, integrate Bell's scorched earth offense, anchor it with Draymond's whirlwind defense and Horford's old-school grit, sprinkle Melton's lockdown instincts, and somehow blend that with Steph's cosmic brilliance dub. Nation gets a comeback story for the ages. But if it backfires? If the young heat that Kuminga radiates gets extinguished, if the chemistry splinters, if Bell struggles under the crushing expectations, then we might be witnessing the slow unraveling of a dynasty that once seemed immortal. As someone who's lived every slice of Warriors' glory, who's felt the bitter sting of heartbreaking playoff losses, and the euphoric rise of championships have felt almost too good to be true, I can hear it in my bones. This moment is bigger than any game winner or buzzer beater. This trade talk isn't just roster management. It's a seismic shift in the heartbeat of the franchise, a crack in the foundation, or maybe the first spark of a new empire. For everyone who's worn the blue and gold and pumped their fists when that shot dropped, or who still carries the ache of years spent rebuilding, it's time to face the raw truth. We're all holding our breath, watching this all-season poker game unfold with lives and legacies at stake. And the question burning hotter than any spotlight is this: are the Warriors about to ignite their last golden blaze, or are we staring at the slow unraveling of a dynasty that shaped a generation? Now I want every voice in Dub Nation, yes, you yes. Your cousin who's worn the Curry jersey since day one, drop your fiercest, no holds barred, soul-spilling take right here. Tell me how this makes your Warrior heart beat, where you stand on this knife-edge decision, because this isn't just news. It's our story, our fight, our legacy. I'll be in the comments, ready to go toe-to-toe with every theory, every hope, every single gut-wrenching, heart-stopping word. This is Warriors News Fan Report, where we bleed blue and gold, and where the fight for the franchise's soul is just beginning.